preparing your CV. Preparing your CV is fundamental to you writing a good application, quite frankly. You need to have an up-to-date, coherent and detailed CV, and it needs to be organised. There is a list of things and the way in which you should structure your CV, okay? Your education should come first. That should be your undergraduate or your most recent study, be that a master's or something like that. Education first. Any scholarships or awards which you have been offered. A scholarship essentially acts as a character witness for you, okay? Somebody has looked at you, interviewed you, read your application, and has thought that you are worth investing money in, okay? So please do include any scholarships. Your legal work experience, again, I've talked about motivation and knowledge of the bar. Paid employment, that can begin to demonstrate some of those personal qualities which I was just talking about. Pro bono and voluntary work, I've said the importance of those, and obviously public speaking, I've mentioned the importance of advocacy at the bar. Responsibilities and achievements, again, these go to your character. If you have held a position of responsibility, essentially that means that enough people have looked at you and thought that you were a suitable candidate perhaps to captain them or to represent them in some form. Okay, so again, they go to your character. Your interests. Please tell us a little bit about what you're interested in, okay? You perhaps all have slightly unique interests. Someone might just read your application form and think, I'm very, very interested in that as well, and I'd like to meet this person. Okay, when you then have drafted your CV, treat yourself as a client, okay? Look at your CV and think to yourself, well, what are my helpful facts? Okay, here is a list of some of the helpful facts. Excellent marks in particular modules or essays. I've talked about the importance of grades, so any excellent marks which you have are very, very important. If you're sat here, perhaps you had a 2-1 at university and you just missed a first, please bracket your specific mark, okay? If you had 68 or 69%, please bracket that to show that you were on the upper end of that 2-1. Similarly, okay, if you've done really, really well in your dissertation, please include that specific mark, okay? 80%, whatever it may be. Mooting or debating. I've really talked about the importance of mooting, okay? But these are fundamental, and it's almost a tick box, if you like, on your application. Has this person got good grades? Tick. Has this person got mooting or debating? Tick. Acting or public speaking, okay? I've mentioned that I myself in the past was an actor, a pretty bad one at that. But I included the fact that I had done some acting, okay, and that I was Danny Zuko. And in every single interview I think that I went to, bar maybe 2 or 3, okay, I was asked about Danny, Grease, Kinnicky, Sandy, or something like that. You'd be amazed, really you would. I know it's funny, I understand that, but you really would be amazed what people will pick up in your application, okay? I was asked some incredibly weird questions about Danny and Sandy and even their relationship. So again, it does go to show just the sorts of things they'll pick up on. Part-time work, again, a very helpful fact. So what are our less helpful facts? Average academics, okay? I suspect on everyone's CV we have a mark which perhaps we're just not quite happy with, etc. So be prepared to be able to justify that, okay? Perhaps what went wrong on that day. Nobody in this room is infallible, okay? We all make mistakes. So what went wrong? No real mooting experience. Perhaps you're sat here, you think, I've never ever engaged in a moot. That's okay. It's not where we want to be. And my obvious advice to you is go out and seek some mooting experience. But think, what could take its place, okay? So start to fill in that gap. If you have no mini pupilages, well, start applying today, okay? You can literally send off mini pupilage applications instantly. They don't take long to draft at all if you have a coherent CV. Okay, so send off some applications for mini pupilages. Perhaps if it's too late now in terms of the in-of-court scholarship, what could take its place? Have you worked within a solicitor's office for a very long time? Have you been to court? Perhaps you've sat in witness trials, okay? All of these sorts of things could fill the hole of having no mini pupilages. No legal work experience, again, it's not a situation which we like to be in, but what could fill its place, okay? Perhaps you've done really, really well in terms of the academic study, something like that. Be able to answer why you haven't conducted any legal work experience. So after we've done that and we've divided our helpful facts and our unhelpful facts, okay, we then need to present our case. To me, the #1 tip in terms of writing application is using evidence. That might sound really, really simple, But often we see in application forms people just drafting what we call just claims, okay, baseless claims. I'm really interested in family law, or I would really love to join this chambers. Please provide evidence to your claims. I'm sure you are interested in family law, but where can I see that within your CV, okay? So please rely on the facts and use evidence, not just claims. Again, this really relates to show, don't tell me, okay? Tell me what you've done, okay? Show me what you've done. And again, just please keep your answers concise. So very, very often, your application form, etc., your pupillage application, whatever it may be, will have a set word limit. So you want to get as much information in there as possible. I'm going to run through some examples of what I mean by this, okay? So this person has said that they are a passionate defender of women's rights. Okay, I'm sure we can all agree, you know, that's a great thing, etc. But how do we actually verify that? Well, we call upon experience, okay? So volunteering with the National Centre for Domestic Violence has given me an insight into the issues surrounding the plight of women. Sorry, I forgot that right at the end. Okay, so there they have provided some evidence to back up their claim. Okay, straight away we can see, yeah, this person wouldn't have volunteered, okay, with the National Centre for Domestic Violence unless they were interested. It makes your answer much, much stronger, so please always use evidence. Again, another example, I like commercial law. Okay, that's really great, mate. I'm happy for you that you like commercial law. Okay, I like rugby, you like commercial law, that's fine. But what does this person actually do that demonstrates that he likes or she likes commercial law? I subscribe to The Economist and enjoy reading about commercial issues and how the law influenced them. I can't seem to get reading that last bit out right, can I? Okay, this is an okay answer. It's much better than the first one, but it's by no means a great answer. This would be a much, much stronger answer if this person perhaps had done a mini pupillage, had worked within a commercial law solicitors, etc. Okay, so simply subscribing to a magazine. For all I know, okay, he could get that magazine through the post, his mum or dad pays for it, and he chucks it straight in the bin. Okay, so actual real life experience is going to always make your answer much, much stronger. Getting to the point, okay, whoever reads your application will read hundreds of applications, okay? There might be one place for a pupillage or for an in-of-court scholarship, whatever it may be, and there will be tons of you applying. So please make your application interesting, okay? A real pet hate of mine, which I see in applications, okay, and I used to do it as well. I try not to, but I'm sure it always still slips in, is saying, I was allowed to do something. Just put that you did it, okay? I understand you may have been allowed, you may have been told, yeah, you got the green light to do that. We don't need to know that. Just say you did it, okay? So please use active verbs, make your application interesting. Here's an example. I was able to contribute to the findings of the project by researching French immigration law. I got that one right. Okay, but how can we just tidy this up, just rearrange the words slightly? My research of French immigration law contributed to the findings of the project. When I was drafting my application forms, time and time again, I would have something which I thought was fine, and that first example is absolutely fine, but I would reread it and just think to myself, is there something I could just be doing slightly better, okay? That all takes a lot of time. It's not uncommon for applications to last 8 or 9 hours by the time you're happy with them. Again, another example, I had the opportunity to draft the final report. Just write that you drafted the final report. You're just using up space on your application form. Just keep your answers concise and simple.